Fede, buenas un saludo para todos los semani kung winigi programan Marianas Agupa. Ang sábado tayo Stefanelos gini oran alas 9 gagan, oran alas 11. Undang kululu na kulu para todos los samzo ni mani kung winigi 100.3 FM. Rito tumbo Stefanelos giyon senmi na kapasidad elektrisidad gayri. Lumadod na papa tinian luta dyan para todos adyo siya mani luta ganaw isdan waham spesyat na kudu para todos samzo para manggayagi sa Honolulu, California, Oregon, Washington State, Idaho, Texas, manggayagi sa Florida, Brother Henry, dyan si Maria, parinmet kay manggayagi South Carolina, manggayagi lokay siya familia. Special na kulo para todo samzo. Bonito na hani pago na dia Fanelos Junio, dia 21, 2025, después de makanyagon Jesu Cristo. Tapi siya man malefay na tinonya si Monsignor Antonelli. Nagining guidza, guidza. Ngayon malefan no? Para pago na sabalo. Wala jata fansigi mo na gwini. Loki subukan istina programata pago na dia Fanelos talo. Wala jata no endong luluna si Jesus Masi. Todos kumuhugi programata jata sustenid a Fanelos gi trongkon ning tanu adjuju. Alright? Ngaman malefan no? Pati no gi na amot. Wala jata fansiga mo na gwini. Jata no loki dong kuluna si Jesus Masi anonymous donor nigi. Ginin tuton niya Stefanelos sa Katsuit anonymous donor dong kululu na si Jesus Masi putudia judo sinsiya siya kanda man makat man hujungin wala datanay loki Diabetes Prevention Foundation dong kululu na si Jesus Masi putudia judo binigi programata Taber Foundation si Jesus Masi loki dylantaber.com Son of Waves. Alright, pusinigyan no Fanelos para pago na sabalo. Wala jata fan sige mo nagbini. Jata na bis i-programata. Okay? Ito na suweste. Alright. Sige, pago. Wala, pagsigya mo na. Lokwe, lapan data sigesti Zumetic, is naman malifit na Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Time check. Alright. Talulu STB Kilus 902. Na Talulu Kilus, the Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center.
Ikumit siyantin amod dyan hinemlo. I-Bravo Pharmacy dyan sentron maulik na hinemlo. Pronto dyan listo na serbisyon amod para hinemlo mo. Agang watugi 233 amod 233-2668. Email isomo prescription di bravomeds@gmail.com. Mabababa ginin lunes esta Bednes. Ginin ioran alas 9 gigan, estay oran alas 6 gipupoy ni. Sabalo, ginin ioran alas 9 gigan, estay oran alas 8
Alright.
tanuan.
Siyempre, shop lopo, shop Joten, data sigya mo estino. Sumukan, ipugamata Fanelos. Finini na mela, data noy Joten Markets and Department Stores. Celebrating 76 years of serving the people of the CNMI. Pao na Ani Afanielos, alright, sinyaha, magtuy itsan, pao na Ani, kalanaanog na nublado, sinyaha magtuda tantan ni pao na honesty, itsansa, kana gayigwen na 35% pos, siya makto sa mga pus. Do inigi umaano gipresente pa ako. Pudi nublado siya mandang sungit matubeno siya gi 71%. Inigi i-humidity imangdo 8 metres di oraha ininhaza logo. Pues kadma dididik. So inigi tax pipikta para pag na Sabado mapatumogin ang ni Joten Markets and Department Stores. Celebrating 76 years of serving the people of the CNMI. Alright? Bala, that istiresti, that isinyaloki man malefect na gipresente pa ako. Manggagigikatan at panielos, local humumugwesti ko mga tapapago na Sabado. Garapan Public Farmers Market, manggagigpresente farmers, Sabado Farmers Market, manggagi naman mafafataloki. Ginaw siya na man presko na kiniset sa nilang so magigikatan gigarapan fishing days. Bisita wato sa Guanabay na gigantimap to malasot saya at siya man ning kanon ni man mapapata. Ang guaha interes mo magiging sa nalom ito siya man magulit guaha bilok siya man siya gulay pipino dako siya loki na different klaseng mangga mapapatagi sa nalom si Leroy si Paula and sagi loki siya. Alright, and again, itsisige muna na pahayos ti industrial serious agricultura banlang food security and again na sige ta no lang suzong za bunini to sa estagwasya asunto manhahalom sa sempre explica gwasya man maipok manautaw ta po kanalong impact for farming sa siya may patuwen bago na hani so nige na bago na hani panielos lokwe naging gwa interes mo una pan maligray mizo air conditioning sa matutsinya gi by pipi no statiting isin senti pago no bisita wato si Aini kay air conditioning kay kita tini spice store garapan kung man malipan no Segwat to siya imagine na fan maligre karitan nizo kumuhuiza ya turidad i-ace air conditioning. Alright? So ano yung istinamensahe ni Raman Marianas Agupa. Lokwi, mala data siya mo na sa ingwa interes mo humano para luta, mga malefa na yung saga, ipuro garden, luta hotel, sexy kindo, no si Rit, kaya gihain ang kanton tossy. Alright? Lokwi, mala data siya mo na, gwagwi ni informasyon, matutumagin sige ni inatibonmarianas.org. Wala talaga mo sa
Ginin oran alas 9 gigan, estay oran alas 6 gipupoy. Sabalo, ginin oran alas 9 gigan, estay oran ala 1 gitanuan. Talo, ang waktu 233, amo 233-2668. Anunsyo, di grupon diksenaryo dyan kuturan natibo Marianas, Cor Armaso Marianas, Mansen Magov Paroma anunsya na itsamoro English na diksenaryo estagay gigi online gi natibon marianas.org. Itsetso sigiha mo na
Alright. So sinige no panilos walukwi informasyon humalum na janging waha interes medyo man ajuda kuasya palabra o sino kuasya usun no kwentos o sino nuevo na palabra na tinuhungo sa tinuhungo ko gagigi diksenaryo pat malago mas informasyon o sino malago man ufresi nuevo na palabra na itima tita lalagnos o tita uusa sa man malefay nga malefay na tiyun ogang mogi at na holo mena go mismo benoy si Dr. Liz Rehebe kumubiza i kabesa ginin natibonmarianas.org. Gwagwi ni humolum gi mapos na simana un palabra gini tutungo ko gay gilo belang nusa jabe noy si Dr. Rehebe na palabra akman no inasoko na unggan tita na si sitbesti sa gwati ni Laika. Inigi inang niya ikagman. Itutuon niya no lo tutungo tumay manos na matulay ka za akman aming kakman. Lo benaya si Dr. Liz Rehebe no kausinya man na alapat dyan i palabra kakman. Lo sungsung iseng kakman. Pago natin po lo i-original na naan akman. AGMAN. Os pwede, benalo menos que Dr. Liz Rehebe, jaging guagwe no mas interes medyo. Sinya lukit na fan holom gini. Alright? Sabi na si Dr. Liz Rehebe. I-otro gini, zaw na belang no sa stiloki, ginin i-crease, jaging guagwe interes medyo man nahalom. Sino promactica sti regenerative agriculture, mga malefa. Agang guagwe i-crease, si Dean Patricia Coleman, o sino si Jessie, 670-237-6840. Inigino na pinatika pud idikiki jan dididi talota. Dazamin ta so questi siya mas no ta na fan tagiha yantis na tempo di managkuta. Hagaga sa matsutsu questi regenerative lo tita tunguha na inigi non niya pago na tempo. Lo inigi man imangay nata mapagtitikantis. Sinige no taloy para ta direct gi regenerative agriculture tana fan la adjo siya ihalom talo itinalunta. Alright, po sinige no lo sita wati increase sino aking wato dagin malago sumono bini. Alright, pus inige no afanielos na mala data fan sige mo nagbini. Alright, ala data na. Okay. Alright, napansiga bini mo na. No Zumetik estima kinota sa pago ng Sabalo. Wabi si tatagi oran alas 10. Antisa di wasya loke baitagi muna kialum si Senator Corina Magoff niya. Gusto niya ha-explica di edzi finesesin niya pero mafaisin ni publiko tangin wa comments pud edzi i wa si governor ha do issue Executive Order 25-2 ang kilatyo. Iparo mana pares ti i-casino commission. Mamamaisin sa Senator Corina Magoff niya umuwiza iluluy economic development na komite para nahalumi manotota auto opinion niya po din, no? Tapos niya manhita gini oran alas 9:30. Punasan niya no si Dr. President of the NMC si Galvin De Leon Guerrero. Panita man adingan pa oran alas 10. Guasya development loke kuleo jan guasya manhuzong pinigigat na hani kapay sina no siya ng informasyon gi oran alas 10 pa gano na 10. Alright. Lomela data lang no sa guasya kulo loke na manggaygi gwinigi piso ni na dengan pa na Sabado. Alright. Finini na izamo na specialist na kulo para si Lucy Dayan. Alright, gagi Amerika. Happy birthday kulo Dayan. Dahil sign na ni Nay mas mali kining mo. Lo antisa limapos na Sabado malifo tilang no special birthday kulo Saturday si Lee Cabrera. Dinginumi ko si Ivan sa ngani si Lee happy birthday kulo sa isayno ni Nay mas mali kining niya. Ivan. Alright. Special na birthday kulo. Dispensa sa malifo gid mapos na Sabado. Lokwi special na kulo para si Che Merced Iglesias de la Cruz. Sis, happy birthday kulo para ho. Jan Mames Lokwi, happy birthday kulo. Si Zaira Ganasias, happy birthday kulo Lokwi Zaira. Chris Inos, og Lokwi, happy birthday kulo. Si Courtney Linay, happy birthday kulo. Ray Camacho, og Lokwi, happy birthday kulo. Reggie Sablan, happy birthday kulo. Jocelyn Cabrera sa Ginome Kukaw, happy birthday kulo. Si Laling Laura Magnolia, bueno gid sa Antioch, California. Happy birthday kulo. Sue Cabrera, all right. Kaya si Sue pagugi garapan farmers market. Segwato sa manbibindi si Sue, happy birthday kulo. Toby Mindiola Lope. Kaya Toby, happy birthday kulo. Zangino may kukaw. Lagi para pa ako na Sabado sa gingwag, bueno, interes, sinyata na ikakat halong binigit ko mata. Natana lang no siya na kulo para pa ako na Sabado. Alright, guasya man masusesi di gitano, pulo sa tafan matik no. Explica no siya guahe no kumikilig niya binigay islata ba siya manggigit gi so gugu ginin proprio na kontinento United States manggigit gi intalo Pacific Ocean. Lo mafatwa ano siya na sabli mo gi ngin gwa man gwa siya kinazun mafatwa mo genolo simple ta diskuti gwa siya man masusidigitano winigi islata prewa gi Marianas Northern Marianas de bueno gi islan Guam gwa siya man holo finini na gwa siya do gwa humolong gini na informasyon kini ni Zota Delegate Kimberly King Heights na put esti bandan hunalero uno eno gi ramas i-trace na mas importante gi ekonomiyata i-labor. Sa uno eno sige mo na sa Saloni si Delegate Kimberly King Hines na labor issue pero fakpua gi 2029. Alright? Yellow this 2029. Alright? Pues esta 25 pao galumi 4 años kinin pago. Magpo na novena sinya tanza hunalero gini. Pues gua hatsutsunik para maabenda immigration transition program. Zapo ma-extend pulo menos 10 años malof talo 2039 mas ki 10 años o sino 10 años ang magpo finini na immigration transition. Sa hafa na importante sa uno gihalong i-trace na kuzunturan ekonomiya i asuntun hunalero. Sa gintawad sa hunalero taki itong kiko, ekonomiya ta. Tinahong populasyon ta, pero kinadga formalidad mo na, pero kinadga mo na ekonomiya ta. Para ugagay gya, nisisidad hunalero. Tay finat po, sa tinahong kapasidad taw-taw ta, tinahong taw-taw. Okay? Pues, guaha propopo ni, pero maamende, sa guaha lokwi, ililing niya na zanggin, mahozigwi, ma-propose na framework para replace presente pa ako, na para in-extend este 2000 December 31st, 2039. Pero flexibility, na siya man nahalong taw-taw hit, ibandang numero na pero kinadga mo na pulo menos niya talo 15,000 na non-resident na cap CW, Commonwealth Workers, Contract Workers, okay, -1. 15,000 na tao sinya kinadga mo na nisisidad private sector than government sector that kumo hospital, nurse, dan siya na those professional occupation. Galibes niya, tisinya manggifalumid, ginsi mga agang H2B, o sino, H1B fananzo, hanggang, sa, rason na, dangkul, dan 3 kilo, nisisidad niya na, debi professional, ito, debi gay salapi, debi buasya eskalera para upasa na siya manholong low CW purin siya siya na tutsu taza taw-taw pero kinadga bandan construction tough ko siya inigi uno na ha zuzuti si delegate zanging guaha interes mizo man nahalong rekomendasyon sige ipago na maulig infan nahalong kataw ato Guest Delegate Kimberly King Hines na isinya unay mas informasyon of otro na klaseng framework. Okay? Go watan na ito na framework kumusinya man manoy pati na autoridad ta para hita ta panahalom tauto. Alright? Ini watan importante watan na kumusitas siya para tamanes tagbiya daging hita man manoy na responsabilidad sa tasafay Estados Unidos kausinya unoy hita tamane sa dikiki lugar ta sa matter of fact manggaygi buat tratos ta ti man imugay ti territory hit of the United States pos manggaygi ti period sa Island Guam Kusinya tafaisin US Congress kusinya unay tati za hita tamania za tana fan mitkutit za tasangani US Congress na para ta obliga ihot sa malago na employer debut atan za unahalon taw-taw na free from communicable disease ini siya tana panggaygi takot sa criminal pero halong wini zangin hita para tamane todza drug addict pero halong tanafang gaygen siya na galong ifinaisenta debi tauto ne po halong wini debi gua por lo menos 3 años na experience keso na so employer lokwe debi mabond masya 10,000 bonded kada tauto ne po halong na zangin gua sti problema na iana halong salapi pero ma-repatriate. Kasi nag-i-otro na framework kasi natafaisin Kongreso na Amerikano za unoy hit tati nesti sa zahita ta manen may sahit sa ombres US continental United States hasta pa ako tisina ma-control iso niya immigration. Pues may la tatafaisin. Apa na po tsuli responsabilidad wala sa tafaisin na tatsuli tati tutungo ka ufatsoso lo Nolingat tatsage no, zahita ta control izota immigration. Kasi ni zaging gwa mas otro sinya loke man na aluman so guest delegate Kimberly King Heights. Tungwa na gwa kampu para uiku of loke man mazuzuti halong i komunidad siya. Alright, pues ini enong ilza hululu gwini i otro gwini na gaya panelos zauna belang no sistina esta i tahuhumuka nagwa siya importantes ti bandan i lingkano na para ta produce gwini waha i Farmers Association waha matang tratus pero ma zan i ofisinan Congressman Elias Rangamar was si Congressman Elias Rangamar Lokri hapit sisigi para ututunes ti backyard farming di precinct 3 sa no pwede humananaw estimona dangin ma edit so na manguni taw-taw niya para minanes din na programa mo na para utsogi loke sa listo pronto i Farmers Association para extended na technical assistance watu gi Office of Rangamar. Alright, precinct 3. So, quantities ti backyard farming sa gipresente pa ako. Sinyaha man produce gi no tatin guma, tatin i raised bed, temanwa siya sige mo na si Mayor RB publika huzo na municipal loke sinya ino assisisti i komunidad siya gimandan esti raised bed sinya mo na sa kano itatingguma pos importante esti na sige mo na para ta istira esti i oportunidad ginin i lanso na isinyaloki manaw-taw tanim mga gigalo isengso sinyaloki man saunaw gini na industriya sa tatungwa nagipresente pa og bulas siya Miss Chloe Tano bulas siya man masusesidi na importante na tanafan piparawit gi zangin matesti na ira i tumadza no lingkano ni pofat tumagi gipresente pa og cross checka na mamulika trabia i shipping halom man mafatwa siya no tita tungo para masusidi gi halom i size message ginin pa ako so sa tatungo nagwagera masusidi gi sa Iran zan gi sa Israel sige mo na man apaki missiles zan man bula man mamatay kung esti siya na no sinat comprende gi nasyon siya tatunga nagwagwaha siya problema giza siga mo na manggera isa no Russia zan giza Ukraine sa pago no esta niya ginigam niya na sige mo na si Kim Jong-un lokwe sige mo na manimbesti ginigi yung banda hanapan pakpakit magi no giairi timat magi no hanapakpak pala ng tilacho otso na miso pus bula siya pikat dia sa mampus itano ti siya mas tuta atan esti na debi tahadayid wini sa zangin taza din kanu umalong wini no paki itong kiko parahita sa zangin tim yun munana sa kano ti mananano mo sinyaha niya lang ham okay ti mamumuk sayaw sinyaha problema og bandan din kanu so esti nasiga ta epok imanaw tawta no fan mananong sa inigi eno imas no importante ti wow hungok pago na ogan ginin South America Africa na untaw to mafaisin nililing niya a farmer no faisin no muna gwagwa ning kanu anak sali ko no sa agagasa ta sa sagan loloki ano muzong ginin ang Africa nililing niya you need a farmer in the morning for breakfast you need a farmer in the afternoon for lunch you need a farmer in the evening for dinner. Yes, you need a lawyer maybe, but once a year. You need a doctor maybe 2 times a year, 3 times a year. But a farmer, you need every morning, every afternoon, and every evening. That's all because you know African. May lang mo siya ng pangunawagan. Anyway, importante ti, enon itasasangan wini. Pwede matsuli no sa mga panseryoso siya. Manatawta no pan participaw na industriya. Alright? Pues mala, sige mo na sa simple no okay, tapanolong binigi gwa no kiumuzong ginin islan guaham guaha sigwela gatete report pero lang nung slogwa manoizo ginin as Lieutenant Governor Tenorio na gingat na ni hafidma proklama isti magang LGBTQIA sa mas sige manako isti Miss LGBTQIA afeno LGBTQIA guiza now lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex dan asexual. Pues esta sige mo na ma-proklama no zaman maguf. Todo no siya LGBTQIA. Man sta man na pampapagpag kanay niya sa man marikunisa nagway no na mes. Hafa na importante no para Island Guaham sa humudzong si President Trump una no na napampare no siya gibanda ni militar sa ililing niya na zanggin timurireglahaw pus lahihaw pus tizan niya no imang gagi no na grupo LGBTQIA tizan niya no na palabran President Trump sa siya sumisinti haf sinintin niya no inigi no na sige mo na pitsige no Island Guaham tutungo ko Guahay no gwini mana 3 kilo no gwini LGBTQIA gwini gislata no taza trabiya mahalong gwini gi programata pud ino na asunto. Alright, paniste sa Guaha otro gwini Gua gwini breaking news umalo gegan man warning man ma-issue zo na gwa siya manhahalom no virus puro siya ulo este manafanahalom gi sa Amerika ginin uno na Chinese national desta magatsa uno munana halom no disease virus which is the nematode gwa siya mananahalom siya invasive na bagang invasive ants sa hana dilingding ikampana si uno na no giza Texas US agriculture na parofan maatan no sa timatungo afeno siya na invasive species manafanalom sa gwaji man matsetse gipresente pa og na hanafandadan niyo siya pwera itinanom hapupunua mo na itinanom mo na sa titatungo esti na gayilo esti manafanalom sa magatsa sa man mananay apiso ipumalo siya na states maatan loki izunya biosecurity na mumanenia custom na parofan matsek eno siya sa tantuhita gwini siya man infected sa kita atahay no siya na problema imanhalom siya ginin otro siya na especially siya man mafatto din China mao. Alright, so ni no na abiso yung malong gwini world news, okay, wala data lang no sa stay world news importante stiloke sa gwini siya no man masusesidi sa taymano dita sa sangan man ma-evacuate tawto humuzong informasyon gini na President Trump na zangin gaygyo gidza Tehran pues paketiyaw zunhuzong sa kita tungo galumidias dia sililing niya siya mamatinas desisyon para sauna o gumera si United States gidza Iran and Israel siya manajuda o ajuda Israeli sa pudi man amigo hit jan Israeli ni si Trump ililing niya pusa nanay abiso todos ajo siya man residentin Sulidanon Amerikano na paketiam zo yung panhuzong giza Tehran esta humuzong na esta mabakudang nuclear facility giza Iran sa titatungo hafa intention niya Iranian na humuzong siya Latola Khomeini na ililing niya zanggin man bakudang pues para ben fan mambakudang zanggin mamaki o miso pues tanto hami ben fan mamaki miso zanggin puno taw mami pues ben puno taw miso inigi imasusisi di pa ako pues mampusitano dilibyo titatungo paro taymano so ako law zanggin importante na taatan esti Hoffman masusesidi za tae kung inus of na information umuzong ginin zota government lokwe kau half na mano na manggay ginaistaw i gobernamento ta kau mantiparawit sa unggan waha siya militar wini na siya protehed gi islan guaham za enigi debit tatungo na guayno siya man masusesidi gi otro siya na nasyon gi za Europe zan watu gi za espesyal na tono zan nasyon gi za Iran zan Israel ini debit taatan za taatan tagagi fe kung inu sa siya man masusesidi. Alright, pues ini no i otro wini na humuzong tatungo na tanto Amerika gula siya man masusesidi lokwe guaha mapuno no representative kongreso este mapake za mapuno wiza niya sagwanya si Melissa Hartman za niya sagwanya matutsinya gweno iman masusesidi za Amerika lokwe za tamensyona na tanaatut siya zan azu ima diskuti rekomendasyon afanielos ginin edu siya iman mabakuna ginin COVID-19 na menos ki 5% timatubitsi niya para todo do sa bula man sinave na i-vaccination ti madmate taw tapos maulik na amot ito siya Pfizer and Tafco siya Johnson & Johnson hapute mimigay niya na taw logwaha humuzong no informasyon na menos ki 5% gwalo ki man nina fan bababaylon niya sa umuzong na umatan na giyalumi 5 anyos di na man mabakuna i 2020 na sakan 5 anyos manholi zu na ulo ima bakuna ha zagwazi ni na fan babaylon niya sa pun na rason ano na kau pati i matuci niya toto paro puno na House of Representative si Melissa Hartman Representative Melissa Hartman is a Massachusetts diyan sa guhan niya walo kay otro man mapaki us matuci niya gweno gi ti klaro siya kinasunya zeni maatan ko pati ginina fan babaylon niya toto sa ano keno masya tibulay numero no i-rekomendasyon para ma-extendi talo i-research na ito menos ki 5% maatan ko hafes din na jangin matutsi niya gweno imanhali esti na vaccine imabakunaw maunutsi niya esti no kau umas una fandanyo ilun toto sa uninya fanmas no mento illness ko inigi siya za wasya taatan na inigi siguro wasya na taw-tawta manhuzo nga za sige mangwintos mo na no dati matungo af masasangan za manama siya man tawta za matugeno siya man inefekta za timan no therapy sa inigi na rekomendasyon imuzong ginin i-rekomendasyon ginin Yale University na pwede man guaha mas research po esti ito siya man mabakuna minigay niya man ninafan maulik lo guaha dididi ti matutsi niya gweno alright po sinigi fanielos importante na paratatan loke i otro guagwi ni humalom informasyon na pud igwasya no tariff implementa si President Trump sa maninifefekta ita gwini sa ibandang parts kareta todo sa siya wanay tisi niya ma-alegre kareta sa timati parts sa pud igwagwan i tariff ana gwagwan todo sempi gumagwan sempi jangin hita para tafan siya sa esta lokwi ipromodudo siya esta kalan ti magoflamin para ma-ship guato i produkto niya guato sa Amerika pud eso guaha siya kumpanya sa Amerika na nilingyan na jangin timan matto siya i parts ginin China o masya mono pues polo da siya o finatinas i parts inigi malago niya si President Trump iparogwahat sotso za ginabira siya kumpanya tati za continental United States sa gumawa sotso za ginin-enaw gumawa oportunidad para i-solidanon Amerikano. Kasi nigi i-programa niya. Lao, kaya libes niya no, no? No, pun itatunga za talilya na itawtaw, itsigi loki motibo zangin barato i-presyo. Pues zangin tawza, umalong ginin China, ginin maulong ginin India, masya maulong, Mexico, pues siyempre, guagwan i-produkto na pumfan zangin maproduksi Amerika. Pues pun enaw na rason, nagwaha kompanya, introduce Amazon. Esta Amazon para produce karitanya giz Amerika. Za hatso gizo na klase no factoria para na mama Chinese lokwe Amazon. Hatso gizo siya na klase factory para na barato lokwe. Pues finini na factory o sino na produkto ipofamatinas karitan ketchup afanelos. Na siya ha no barato niya fanan ki mas barato giz Amerika. Pues habiragi Amazon za hatsuli strategy Chino za pofamatinas kareta giz Amerika za mama Chino lo questa. Pues ini gi eno libes niya. Alright, alright, pues ini gumay gi pago, pago na sablo. Damala, jata fansigi mo na fanelo sa nga sa Olilia, si Senator Corina Magofnia sa Benaholom, at least di ba no naholom si Guela Gatete sa pudi Guadalupe, bisitata gi 10 o'clock, lo finini na mala jata si Senator Corina Magofnia sa speaker di loki finalization niya gi publiko. No, all right, sige si Senator Corina Magofnia. Buenas, Senator.
Buenas, Mr. Manglonia. Good morning para hagod sa todo loki mane ekungo gi Jamo Station.
Okay, nangga sabi na aggangawa no na lauta izo mo no na close wa gizo mo mic. Okay, sound check.
Okay, kusinyo nungok.
Oh, nigi pago. All right.
Okay.
Ito.
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning, Loki. Para ako si Jus Mosi. Go ahead, no. Guwapa ng sangan at sa dito tutun mo na.
Oh, tatsa pabisangan na buenos dias para todo imane ekungo gi Jamo Station. Happy Saturday para todos.
Oh, si Jus Mosi. No, ito nga na hago kung may lulu esti Senator Economic Development na komite.
Ngan.
Za no pudi guahan no mamatinas desisyon si Governor Palacios miningi mapos niya na si Mauna. Pud esti para issue Executive Order 25-2 tilacho para essentially para na pauhutsuma esta CCC. Guaha komite mo no inekong publiko para insegi para esta inconduduk tayo no in a public hearing ipresente.
Unggan, esta yung kondukta ifineni na public hearing jani Casino Commission gi inikap niya fananet si ang tilatsi zo. Pues pabinoga na lo kaya mi ukumbida ha i Lottery Commission. Lo gwazo niya conflict of schedule ni. So inaatan para setse ngayan ni sinya manolum ni para bin kuntusi lo kaya sa pabinungok offer sinantin niya pud estin executive order ungkan na siyempre debi no matsugi sa gobyerno mo issue order lo ti tadza gwa para tahungok offer offer na sunya executive order ko man kunintusi ni gobyerno antes do ma issue executive order or often inatanin niya po the executive orders and often na klasin impact pero guato gigwita siya kumu mo take effect executive orders sa kolandong kulusti na tsotsoy Casino Commission matsotsogi dadzo zangen por ma-transfer gato siya gitres na members ni Secretary of Finance, DPS Commissioners and Secretary of Commerce ko malangat or ko manasinya, or so those are the things that we're looking at, not just
Oh,
from
okay.
the duty responsibilities aspect, but also the legality of it. We just want to make
Mm.
sure we do our due diligence. The tanasiguro na tatsogi ki dinansi zangi gasgas na manera. And what?
Okay. No, lo gay gi authority gizo ta governor no na
Ungan.
i
Klaro no
appoint,
gizata ungan.
they
Klaro ay no
serve at
gizata
his pleasure, no?
absolutely ungan.
Oh,
Lo
okay.
inaata
Usagin.
ne ko
Mm.
preciso na matsogi gini ni executive order or kursinya no i legislatura atan ofa financiasan niya gobyerno sa ta amenda ofa nasisita po mamenda i public law na isang ginanigi ginagago sa i legislature po matinas ilo pues kulang gasgas niya kung i-legislature mo tulay ka or ofa na malago na gobyerno ofa
Mm. Okay.
financiasan niya no. Sa
All right.
ST
Pusa.
executive order, we have 60 days the legislature for act whether to reject, approve, or modify, So we're not we have no position at this point. We're just looking at all the facts and making sure that
Oh,
we're
okay.
doing our research and due diligence to ensure that when the before the 60 days comes that we take the proper action if we need to.
Mhm. Look, as currently stands, no, guahay dyan medyo ligo kanso, no, na sinya man judam jo mata nila, no?
Ngan, sa mami
Oh,
Senate Legal
mhm.
Counsel mo sa dami.
Alright. Pues gipresente pa ako, Senator, uh, with the signature of that executive order, no, is that pretty much they're out of their responsibility, commissioners, or para talanga 60
Ay,
days? Afay
tarabya,
interpretation pa ako, sinya.
Debbie no, gwagi 60-day window ni Debbie i-legislature puro ma-act. San kintoza, if we don't do anything, then it takes effect after 60
Effect.
days.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Yes.
Pus manggagay gipresente pa ako, i-commissioners.
Manggagaya gipresente. Ngan.
Alright. Jige gwi zoku concern lo kwi sa gwasya chetsu ninya nice di siya. Za
Ngan eh.
za Pilacio man madidibes ti los primos na. Jige lo kwi ko
Ngan.
sinya Pilacio gumawa sa lapi or sino guano appropriation
Sige.
lo man maposya esti siya los primos no.
Une sagi anta ni law ni mo create casino commission zunya salary pero fan inapasi ginin license fee ginin IPI no pues tisinya na para government para appropriate sa lapi ni pero fan inapasi zunya salary sa taigo yan no gilo ani man mapatinas casino commission unggan ta comprende na agas man matsotso dis di mautumi casino, they've been very diligent in conducting their monthly meetings, to keep the public updated as to what has been going on with the litigation. But we also have to look at the law and follow how
Okay.
their compensation was created, and who's the responsible party to pay for their salaries.
Okay. Just the thought is no comprendia na i activity in casino pues I can see governor's concern na accumulating accounts payable no in terms of operation commissioners na ultimately government responsible lo no ulia na ito na rational governor sa so quite ultimately he's responsible. He has the
Okay.
authority to issue an executive order. On the flip side, masaya gigi original law na they have their own they have to find their own funding through a regulatory fee, right? Appropriation no trumps that so it became law so it's actually a law to compensate them,
Okay.
right? So esta no sinupersid zo na masya liling yan na mala sa di bin aligaw sa lapi mo. Lo ni mapass the appropriation bill na po inaposi na. Pues it became the current law na, right? Pues kalantagan na iso kuno daw tunga esti siya na they did their job. Aposi sa ginumano no executive order pues okay. Kuno sa hanonolo I think their dues loke wa dues para siya na sa sige na siga man isalo na
Okay.
commissioners sa
Oo, kalag
ita-blame siya sa manisita sa lapi na man itetsu
okay,
niya they have to be compensated
okay,
no pues
comprende
kalantagan no
ako.
observation na no it's an appropriation the most recent from the previously right I don't know I'm not a lawyer no
Kung
please
we
understanding the
do follow
process na
we do follow the guidance and of our legal counsels from the legislature, and according to our councils, both from the House and the Senate, legitimate the appropriation ni po fan mapasi los prohimus tati kwantu years ni timan mapasi ni lo I guess what ani mo to gi governor sa AG si AG's office mo advice na tisi niya. So it's
okay
again is
so okay we'll just leave it like
okay.
that we're just discussing is the issue next we feel for our people when they're not getting paid when they perform
Okay.
and they're not
Uh,
getting paid to
yes,
understand it
and another thing to just to on the side note na labor law lokwi federal labor law it mandates na kung estang provide service ni deben on mapasi right algo pagun check tamanu no tamanu purun na ligodzi ni po napasi no for
yeah
me we're very fortunate as a government esti siya is the commissioners ti matetek legal action na man matsotsuwas ta kwanto anos sa pagod ti man
mm-hmm.
mapapasi because if you look at it from a labor standpoint labor law mandates that once a person provides you a service or gives you goods, right, you have to return that a a payment back. Not not
yes
not sa lapi. So in
mm,
this case, ang sa lapi sa naman masui government, no? That's a
yeah
the government talutsek tama ano ni po no. So it's
yeah
just something to think about. I'm
yeah
not encouraging any lawsuits against the
yeah
government. I'm just
mm,
trying to be realistic and make sure that
mm.
we also take that
I
into
think
consideration.
denunciation if you don't get paid for 2 consecutive weeks or 2 consecutive payroll you have
Yeah.
standing the Federal Labor Standards Act.
On the labor side, yeah.
Yes, this is on file.
Okay.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Denunciation no senators. Anything else? Are you inviting people to your committee to make comments, or are you holding
Okay.
another public hearing?
Okay.
What
We will
public
be
hearing
holding
pa ron?
another. We will be holding another public meeting to
Okay.
bring in the Lottery Commission to also,
Okay.
Senator Donald suggested that we also bring in DPL and Chief Solicitor Robbie Glass from the AG's office. But the hungog mas often man susasadigi bandanadzi negotiation with Team King, according to Chairman Ed Longuerero, niya siya share na sa dupusi gwa negotiations and then DPO is also in the process of negotiating the land lease again, something like that. So inigi siya nasisita patahagan olum za taungog mas za tatungog mas klaro manamamanuod mo na because right now we're only hearing from the governor's executive order, and then we're only hearing from the Casino Commission. But from that public hearing, we learn more about some of the activities that has been taking place, and so kada guan webo na informasyon de bitaw kanolo meno siya sa tamas tungod ang comprendi of a society sa kosa kisinya ta fatina si dinansi na desisyon para enterramento ito ta
Okay. No, stand by. I got 5 minutes with you. Wag binig phone call. The bay saya
Okay.
no.
Yes,
Yes, gusto mo comment pa si Senator? often a cell phone sa landline is not really working connected with the system. 670-287-4536. All right. Yeah, call. So I got only 5 minutes left. Okay. Senator, nga sa callers. I'll wait for that. Siya, no, to take one call. Malikawa?
No, of course, unggan malika.
All right. Okay. All right. Open is din na sunido. Okay. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, caller. What's mo question para Lota Senator?
Question or suggestion and comment. No, then probably maybe a question after that. So, yes, go ahead.
Sure, sir. At 4 minutes now.
David Indole Evangelista speaking in India.
Okay.
No, Senator Corina, esta articulan no Kishwa Stasti. Hindi mabibindi kijutin na artikulan no manodiga modernia siga sa mapabibisyo. Kulan Kishwa Stasti government self-inflicted insufficient. Kishwa Stasti tosi dalang mameditetsyon ni OPM. Iman mas leksya commission. Yes, because the matsogi due diligence na no, nadanggan sa overdue. Itaw po pamahaksa kilo na WGA. At ano sa disgrace na mamalo 20 years sa tabago na maahaksa.
All right. No.
Na mamalo sa bambus dinang. Na pula mo sa tinian pulisya sa tiyak activity. So sa na police officer do support na pamilya niya. Sa they choose between spending a birthday or christening or wedding or taking that overtime, family over money, you know. So mas I think the attention and focus ki familya niya ki taking an overtime which is 5,000 also 24 hours.
Okay.
I think it's not right. It's not healthy for your officers. So that you are
Okay. Thank you, Dave. No, I thought you have a question para Senator. No. Okay. All right. Thank you, Neno. All right. Jesus Mose, caller, WGI, and dito mo offer mo comment nito, no, Senator? Hello. Issue. Okay, go ahead.
Tugef ungu kafa sa sangan sa kalamampu stadik mo alam gi sa kusay.
Okay.
Santyun man ko sinyon repita.
Kalan as may mention po di WGIs and kalan bisyo na isti kit mga atalon isti siya na. Ngan ta komprendia manotota man frustrated no gyalo misengso. Bula siya man inefekta siya no diferentes movimentos at asunto. Ekonomiya bula siya no maninefekta sa zangin dispatio service gyalo ni government pues manggugunggong itaw tapos kalantayan no izota siya response ginin izota village people na zangin siya mas elaborate sa got a few minutes. Go ahead, Senator.
Okay, so just mostly Mr. Manglonia dyan para di gentleman ni Manogan alum. Kan importante si WGI, you know, sa preciso na para ta acknowledge ito finatsonya dyan ni tempo niya pega alum ki mono na agency ni. Siyempre no siya pataatan tatlo gini during a budget hearing, you know, inga gogowi publiko ni pasensya patients zataatan mo ligi sa lopi sa tigef bula mo alum you know talilya i-report siya gi newspaper tanan giniga pedje na podung talo you know according to handmade reports tumuno ki hotel occupancy rate at tani MVA reports tumuno talo number of tourists arrival, you know, todo no siya na-affecta i-lopi ni mo alam ekonomiya zangin taatan no in-affecta loki zanya ability government para na isalopi the agencies na ini po mag-study mo ano para i-programa siya dyan often na services na provide using so there's a domino effect to all of this needs ang gintaliin at ti mamolik ekonomiya sa tinanahong turis manolong. So tagagagawi ingagagawi publiko na especialmente government employees na unggan in recognize na necessita ito po fan maposi ni niya WGI sa tapanan maski past due, but the challenge for us is to look at the available funds that we have currently, and how do we manage that to ensure that we provide minimal services and programs that the government provides.
Okay.
It's not an easy job. We're doing our best to try and allocate the money according to what's priority for our community. For me, safety is number one, and health. So everything else we just kind of have to see how our revenues are looking on a monthly basis, and make the decisions there.
All right.
Makadi.
Okay. And I know keep doing a good job up there, Senate, no Senator. Kudi oras ta sa si Dus Masi na last minute ta ne paron chime in on na executive order. We'll bring you back as you continue
Okay.
no public hearing. Okay. Thank you so much,
Okay, so
si Senator
invite.
Karina Mangufnya. Zamela sa gumagis na gini bisitota. Penoluma si Dr. Calvin. Diliong Guerrero lo antisa zabay lang no sa time check na hinihigwi na Bravo Pharmacy and Wellness Center. Wala, lang no si Stephanie Los sa Putanti Loke. At na fan holomis di siya idotano sponsors. All right.
Ikumit siyantin amod zan hinemlo. I-Bravo Pharmacy zan sentron maulik na hinemlo. Pronto zan listo na serbisyon amod para hinemlo mo. Agang watugi 233 amod 233-2668. Email isomo prescription gi bravomeds@gmail.com. Mabababa ginin lunes esta Bednes. Ginin ioran alas 9 gegan, esta oran alas 6 gipupoyni. Sabalo, ginin ioran alas 9 gegan, esta oran alauna gitanuani. Talo.
All right. Then Loki tanalon Jilton Markets and Department Stores.
Celebrating 76 years of serving the people of the CNMI. Shop local, shop Jilton. Today's weather is brought to you by Jilton Markets and Department Stores.
All right. We are on track. Zanizota special guest para Pago na Sabado. Please hold on to questions until I open the landline, or rather a cell phone. We have a problem gi landline. Lo ibisitata para Pago na Sabado Fanielo si President of the Northern Marianas College. Taza mas dan si Galvin, Dr. Galvin Diliong Guerrero, Sablan Diliong Guerrero, no? Ganun siya. Alright, no, okay. Ano ko, i-camera siya man wayful para isot audience. Okay, sound check is good.
Sounds good.
Good, sounds good. Alright, talo naging question pulos tayo at the later part gizot broadcast pago. Pare mani ko gi 100.3 zan loko gitararanas inadingan kinot sumuro streaming sa Amerika zan masya mono internet mundo in felicisitan zo talo kada gwasti na asunti gwa bisita molong wini importante sa matsutsuli loko tempon niya para ma-informa publiko especialmente siya ibandan ikulelta gini Northern Marianas College sa pudi Tilacio Stefan Dos sa Benoya time na po introduce si Dr. Galvin de Leon Guerrero, itinituhon niya di Northern Marianas College, ipaso niya muna dyan half siya bidaan niya, hafa sudah halom na trumpison para suazi o sino para kurihi adyo siya manggaygi Northern Marianas College dyan hafa. Mano ni manggaygi representi. So ni finini na asunto. Okay, konsige mo na.
Mr. Magonia, for having me on your show. And as I mentioned to you, I can understand Chamorro, okay, but my speaking is not very good.
Okay.
You know, when I was, I like to joke that when I was growing up, I only learned the Chamorro that my parents would use while they were fighting. but for real, let me tell you a story. One time I was picking up my grandmother with my first lessons from the back. I was driving them around, and my dad's mother, and she asked me, Chamorro, where are you going? She wanted to know where we were going.
Mono
Right?
para mono.
Yeah, and so this is what I told her. This is what I said. Ikoni zoku na namu. So she was like, huh? And then my cousins, they were laughing, and you ever like experiences like that, like growing up, like it made me ashamed to try to learn, but I'm committed to learning, and
Never
my
too
wife
late.
is
Never
teaching
too
me.
late. Remember that.
That's why when people say you don't speak Chamorro, and I say not yet.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. But thank you very much for having me on your show.
Yeah.
Really appreciate. I'm glad that when we ran into each other, the Green Growth
Yeah.
Initiative. You know, I said, hey, I'm a big fan of your show, and you invited me, and here we are.
Yeah.
Thank very much.
You know, what do you call this? If I think your milestones, like maybe that's one of the issues that I wanna get into today. So I know that the first time I knew that you're part of or part of a public service person, is when Governor Babauta, right? You worked for Governor Babauta. That was the first time I knew that there's Galvin.
Yes.
Okay, that was the.
Well, before that, Governor Tenno.
Oh, you worked for Governor.
No, he appointed me to serve on the Board of Regents.
Okay.
I took over the remainder of former Justice Villa Gomez.
Oh.
He passed away now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And so I was appointed to serve out the remainder of his term. And then Governor Babauta, when he came into office, he reappointed me. And then he brought me on board as his education advisor.
Oh, okay, so that's where I knew about
That's
you.
where it all started.
Yeah, started. And then, okay, so take us from there. And, how did you get to NMC and the challenges when you first got there? Because education obviously is key in our growth, too. Part of our importance with our important what do you call this, the workforce in our community. So how do you go from there?
Well, honestly, my first experience with NMC is, remember back in the day there was the 2+2 program. So I was able to take college classes at NMC before I went off island to college.
Oh, okay.
So ever since then, I knew that NMC was a special place. And then I served on the Board of Regents, and then I've been always at Mount Carmel, but then I came back and I served as the Director of Institutional Effectiveness at the college. And then in that role, I was also the Accreditation Liaison Officer. Then I left to go back to Mount Carmel, and then while at Mount Carmel, the Board of Regents would bring me in as a consultant to training. I helped with the most recent accreditation report, and even when I was studying for my doctorate, I wrote my doctoral dissertation about NMC. So when the position of the president opened up, I applied.
Oh, okay.
And I got in, and here I am.
Yeah. So when you got in, is everything fine and dandy, or did you see anything that needs to be addressed immediately? Because we just got out of the pandemic. I remember that. Yeah. So was that tough? Hurdling through those jungle.
I think the first thing I noticed when I got on campus is, I had my plan, I had my agenda, I had my strategic approach, but I decided that my first few weeks I would want to listen to. I went around just listening to every department internally, listening to students, listening to the community, and one thing I realized is that the college had been through a lot. There was the typhoons, U2 just devastated the campus. There was the pandemic. And then, especially before interim President Frankie Luchacos came on board and brought stability, before that, there was a lot of instability. There was almost this climate of fear with the politicization of the leadership. So
The board of regents,
the board of regents and the presidency, and there was just a lot of conflict there, and it was something even the accreditation commission noticed. So when I came on board, VP Frankie did a good job of bringing some sense of stability, but what I noticed is it seemed to me that everyone was kind of suffering from trauma. They were traumatized by the typhoons, they were traumatized by the lockdowns and the pandemic, and they were traumatized by, all that instability. So I just kind of ditched my plan, and I worked with everyone to come up with a strategic plan. And what is at the center of that strategic plan is to take care of our community, to take care of our resources, but most importantly, to take care of our people. So, I created this health squad, and what we did is we started looking at how can we promote the overall health, mental health and physical health of our employees and our students. And
how did you manage to help them on the mental health? Did you partner with the Community Guidance Center?
Yes, we brought in, because we also lost some people along. Lost Hedwig, we lost people that were close to the college, and so we brought in the Community Guidance Center, but we also made some structural changes. We used to have just what's called a sick leave, and we changed that. We turned it into a broader term health leave. So if you need a mental health day, you don't need to provide a doctor's note that, hey, you're getting surgery or whatever. You can just take that day off. And then one thing I pushed for, and it was kind of hard, is I pushed for making sure that everybody has the winter break. Because up until that point, only the faculty had the winter break, so that they have 2 weeks off during before Christmas to after New Year's. So I pushed to make sure everybody has that. And then we even kind of took a look at some of our benefits, and we calibrated it so that we could also offer some gym membership assistance.
That's good.
So, and then we would sponsor health night, and then we just kind of this very comprehensive approach to take care of our people. And then also with our students, our student support services started offering like mental health summits. And then we started having students and even employees speaking out openly about their struggles. So that was the thing that I wanted to focus on, and that's why I end every speech by saying, stay safe, because we have to be safe, but also stay calm, because there's so much anxiety. And then with those two, you stay safe, you stay calm, and that's how you see it. So that's one personal agenda that I had when I came on board, is to really try to help everyone take care of themselves better.
So our accreditation is okay for how long? How long is this?
Well, we were able to secure the longest accreditation term, 8 years.
Okay.
We're coming up on the midterm of that. This year is the 4th year of that. So we got to submit a midterm report, but there's no visit. So it's looking pretty good. And, they gave us high marks for the resiliency of the people at the college and their ability to just bounce back after each disaster. So our accreditation is in the solid standing.
Okay, so that's good already.
Yeah.
Looking forward now with the new funding, new college, how do you anticipate the opening day and the new campus will serve our students?
The thing is, everyone sees the physical campus, right? They see the student center, and that's on schedule to open this year, sometime in the fall term. But we're also going to be breaking ground on 4 more buildings, 2 classroom buildings, a research building for Greece, and then a workforce development center. But kind of behind the scenes with all of that, we're also going through a major digital transformation of the college. So right now we have a lot of our systems in silos. So we've launched this initiative called One PROA, so that HR, finance, student information is all going to be in one place that you're going to be able to access on an app. And It's going to make it a lot easier for students to navigate their way. It's going to make it a lot easier for the college to, run its operations. It's going to save a lot of money. So that's a big transformation happening behind the scenes. And we're going to roll that out this year, this coming academic year. And then beyond that, we're also pursuing a lot of strong curriculum changes. We just got approved from our accreditation commission to bring 3 of our biggest programs online: liberal arts, criminal justice, and our 4-year business degree. And then on top of that, as you've seen, we are leading the effort with the CNMI Green Growth Initiative, right? And that's CNMI wide, and that's transformative for the people of the Commonwealth. And then on top of that, we are pursuing sea grant status because we're a land grant institution. That's how we can have everything that CREASE does, but we're surrounded by ocean.
That's right.
So we should be a sea grant institution, and we're very close. Our proposal has been approved to begin the first phase of sea grant. Things are just being held up in Congress with the funding for NOAA. But we are pretty much like, as soon as that funding is freed up, we can begin running as a sea grant institution.
Okay, so that leads me to the next question about your revenue stream. Where are your revenue stream coming from? I know that through probably tuition. What else? Are you getting money from the CNMI government?
Yes, we are. The CNMI government, despite all the challenges, has been pretty good about supporting the college. We've been able to relatively maintain our funding for the past few years, so that's been helpful. Of course, we have tuition and fees, and we're looking at sort of just coming up. The board just passed a policy to empower the college to design a tuition and fee structure that is more sustainable in the long run. Because up until now, like every time there's a tuition increase, it's like every 10 years.
Okay.
And then it's just too much. So we're trying to do it so that it's more incremental. And then we have a lot of funding in federal grants and federal programs from multiple sources. And then we also provide auxiliary services, like we help offer short-term certificate programs through the Community Development Institute. We played a big role in the governor's broadband boot camp. So,
you're a signatory to that certificate?
NMC was pretty much the coordinator of the whole boot camp in partnership with NMTech and Island Training Solutions, Department of Labor, and the broadband office. But we were the ones that kind of coordinated everything.
So in other words, the recipient of that certificate program, the boot camp, and it has the weight of the various institutions.
Yes.
So they can, an employer would look at that and say, hey,
Yes,
this one is what this person is trained, and he can join the workforce.
Yes.
So that's the
whole point.
The whole point. Okay, that's good. It's a fast track program for people.
Yes,
How many graduates?
We had 269 on all 3
That's
islands,
great.
but it was very competitive. We had only 300 slots, and we had like 500 applicants.
So how many people graduate?
269.
269. CNMI-wide.
CNMI-wide, yeah. We couldn't, so there were people on the wait list, but because they missed the first, some people just started dropping out.
Yeah.
But we couldn't bring in new people because it would have thrown off the curriculum, because it's a lot of, on Saipans, Indian, and Luta, that's a lot of people. So 269 is still quite a bit.
Yeah. So I'm wondering though, so would those 269 would have a job now, or they can go anywhere, no?
They can go anywhere. They
working somewhere.
We designed the curriculum so that it's more than just about broadband, installing fiber optics and putting all that together. It's also to give them the tech skills so that when Google moves their data center into Tinian, 5 new cables drop onto the island and we see the tech industry take off.
They're ready.
These guys are ready. So there's more than just the broadband. It's beyond that.
Oh, okay. That is awesome. Is there any other revenue stream like the college is engaging in to have more funding, more money coming in, other than receiving from CNMI government, from grants? Any other?
Well, we have a very effective advancement office. This is led by Vice President Frankie Lutzico. And we have, a very successful golf tournament every year that brings.
For the foundation, right?
Foundation. So
that makes money.
The foundation has been very effective, and we just recently, when I came on board, it surprised me that we hadn't done this yet. But we just recently secured a 501c3 designation from the IRS.
Oh my goodness.
So that's going to open up a whole new world of opportunities.
A lot of
Exactly.
charitable,
So we've been, you know how the Helmsley Trust donated the MRI,
yes.
to the CHCC. We've been in communication with them to help with our expanding
There's
facilities.
lots of institutions that can help you.
Exactly.
Okay, there's other ones that I was aware of through this Green Growth Initiative about the laboratory.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes,
that
yes.
one there, I think you need to zero in on that
Yes.
because that's where the money is.
Exactly.
I've had the opportunity to talk with Dr. Zarker.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, man, that is
from the
amazing.
association standpoint, we have a system already that is I would say maybe intellectual property of the Farmers Association
Right. Right.
that I have consulted with your Dr. Zarker that if we get to the next level, once this operation is up and running, the association can be a partner with you.
Of course.
Once we commercialize it, so
Yes.
that source of opportunity would generate probably almost half of what you need if ever it becomes a reality. So keep that focus with the, and I know that it's down at the Marianas. Do you plan to bring that up to the college?
Yes. So our new research building, the CRED building, is being designed so that it has all the infrastructure you need to run laboratories. And what we want to do is, because right now there's a lot of lab work, like general lab work that we have to send off island. We're going to be able to do it online. So, and Dr. Sarker is a good partner because, man, he's one of the leading food scientists in the entire Western Pacific region. He has multiple patents to his name.
Yeah.
So
That's a concern because when he talked about during our not at the Green Grove, but we had him to be a speaker during our food workshop.
Yeah.
And he mentioned about the patent.
yes.
No, I was a little bit concerned. I want to be honest with you. That I know that he's a leading food scientist, but having to own a patent to his
Mhm.
name, using the facility, the college, maybe something can be done to make sure that the NMC reserve certain proprietary rights.
Yes.
Because I was concerned when I'm doing the what do you call this? Talking to him about our project, our
Yeah,
property
yeah,
from the Farmers Association. I was concerned about the proprietary. So I want to, now that we have the opportunity to talk, maybe see if you can secure that for the college. Because as a researcher, as a doctor of food scientist, it concerns me for him to hold the patent himself.
Yes.
So there has to be some framework where the college and their third party partners, it can be three-way partnership. Whoever comes in and use the facility, hold certain percentage of the patent,
Mhm,
Dr. Zarker providing the technical expertise, and the NMC itself
Yeah.
should have a triangle
Yeah.
partnership,
Yeah.
so that it would encourage people to come in and offer their ideas, and then everybody wins. So that's a concern that maybe I think
Yeah.
I'll let you work with that.
Mr. McGlynn, I'm really glad you brought that up because we're tackling that. The college has a robust set of policies and procedures for conflict of interest, but we're tackling this issue of intellectual property. We also launched our own pro publications. We used to have to be under UOG, but now we have our own. And so that's why we launched Marianas Mosaic, Chamorro by Dr. Untalan. We're now launching a journal. But that's one of the things we're really focused on is as we work with these partners, we got to make sure that their intellectual property or whatever copyrights or patents they own don't restrict us, but really empower us. So I'm glad that you're aware of that because it's something that we're paying very close attention to.
I mean, and nobody knows if Dr. Zarker 2-3 years from now he'll go to a greener pasture. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And he'll take all the patented items that he did. So just to be sure that our community, our college, our home college, NMC is grounded and protect the community that they serve. So that's the other one. Okay, so now that you're doing a great job at the college. I heard the news. So it was surprised. I surprised me because I said, I invited the president to come in to talk about the new things, right? And then when I heard the news, I said, okay,
Good timing.
I'm
Good
gonna
timing.
ask him about that. So
First
so
exclusive interview.
yeah, so this is the first exclusive interview, and second, my nephew.
Oh yeah, I know.
He
Yeah.
already did, right?
No, but that was with everybody. But this is the first like one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's 1 year, 6 months away to
Yeah.
the new election.
Mhm.
What makes you decide to get it out right now? Your plans to run.
I'll be honest. Like I've always thought about maybe running for office, and I did run for the Board of Education, and I served there for 5 years as a voting member, and then I ran with Juan Babata in a GOP primary. I was his lieutenant
Oh,
governor
that's right.
candidate.
Yes.
And then my dad served in the third legislature. I've been working with Congressman Kim Lee, for 16 years. So, like my family likes to tease me, it's in the blood.
Okay.
But what really got to me was, when Trump was elected, right? Like we were, of course, very hopeful. Right? I'd like to point out to everyone that it was during the first Trump administration that all of these buildings were approved by the various federal entities, Department of Education, FEMA, EDA, HUD. So, we were hopeful, and we were hopeful that we would be able to continue our work.
Mhm.
But I'll never forget that day in January earlier this year when they announced the pause in federal funding for everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And like I've shared before, first thing I did is I pulled in our team. I notified our board of regents that what was happening, and I pulled in our team and I said, okay, first things first, let's see what we can do with what internal resources we have, what internal funds we have to stabilize things at least for the next few weeks, because I don't want to be issuing furlough notices or anything like that. And I wanted to make sure that we were taking care of our employees and also continuing to serve our students in our community. So we did that, and we were able to figure it all out, right? So then what I did is I was worried about everyone in college, so I went around to all the offices just to check in on them, especially the ones that rely on federal funds, federal grants. And I wanted to listen to them, but also to provide some assurance that, hey, we're doing this and we're going to be diligent about protecting you and your programs. But as much as we tried to give them that assurance, there was genuine fear and genuine concern. And there were, in some offices, dealing with students and employees, people were crying because they were so afraid. And that's when it first hit me. I'm like, yes, we've done what we can internally to sustain these programs, but that's when it really hit me that decisions made in Washington have severe implications.
Oh, yes,
here.
That's right.
So after that, and continuing to try to, we worked very closely with Delegate Kim, and she provided some, critical support, early on. But, it was not enough. And so I started talking with my families, talking with trusted friends and confidants, and asking them what they thought. And everyone was telling me, maybe you should run, maybe you should run. And, after meeting with everyone and really reflecting on it, praying on it, I decided that, okay, I want to give it a shot. I want to see if I can do more for more people, because throughout this whole process, I've also learned that, a lot of our students rely on Medicaid, food assistance, and other federal programs outside of education. And it's also their families. And there's so much that's being affected or could be affected that I felt the calling to try to do more for So that's kind of when it all started
Mhm.
several months ago, and then led to the decision.
Oh yeah. So that was Friday, no? I mean Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday. So okay. So you have your committee set already?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
committees.
current chairman is Gregorio Sublime.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and well, he's returning the favor because I was his campaign chairman
Okay.
for 16 years now. So,
Yeah.
and then the treasurer is former Secretary of Finance and my dad's sister, Lucy Nielsen.
Oh, see, okay.
Yeah. So, and then of course I have everyone. So
Treasurer,
they're
okay.
the two main ones.
You're gonna need campaign managers.
Yeah. Of course, we're
You're
still.
gonna have probably in Rhoda and Tinian.
We have to. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
that's in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Okay.
There are some campaigns where they wait until they have everything together, then they go big, right?
Mm.
But I felt bad for the team I already have in place. I'm like, I didn't want us to like stress out about all of that and then wait until like January. Wanted to give us a little bit more time because I also want time to get out there, on house to house visits and meeting with different constituents to hear from them and learn from them. Because I mean, I have my own ideas. Our team, we have some of our ideas, but you really learn a lot when you get out there and you listen to the people.
Yeah.
And I want to get out there and find out what they're really going through. What are some of the creative ideas that they might have? So I wanted to give myself time too, because I'm going to continue serving as president until my candidacy is certified.
Oh, yeah, that's until August, right? Next year.
Yeah, so that's a full, being president is very, very time consuming. So I figured, okay, let me give myself time after working hours to be able to do some of this work.
What do you say to those people who are saying that, what do you call this? You're better at the college because of your background than being a delegate. What do you say to those people?
Well, I remember when I was at Mount Carmel and people said the same thing. Oh, you're better here at Mount Carmel because of your background. I gave a lot to Mount Carmel for many years, but I felt the calling. And now that I've come to NMC, of course, I still miss Mount Carmel. But now people are saying, well, your background, you're really doing a lot for NMC. So now they're not talking about Mount Carmel, they're talking about NMC. And I will, of course, miss NMC, but
you feel the calling?
I do. I feel it. And like I said, when I saw the impact that these decisions were having on our students and our employees and our broader community, it really got to me. And I felt so powerless because I wanted to do more. So, but also, we have a solid team at the college. I was very blessed when I came in to have amazing leaders like Frankie Lintico and our Chief Financial Officer, Dave Actow, and our Dean of Student Support Services, Charlotte Cepeda. We have a really solid team at the college. Patty Coleman over in Greece. I felt like coming into this dream team, and since coming on board, I've done my best to grow some more leaders and cultivate more leadership, and also, ensure that we have a strategic master plan and policies and procedures in place that will continue long after that I'm gone. When I first started studying educational leadership, and I'll never forget the first lesson I learned. This is one of my professors. She said, on day one, when you show up on campus, your new leadership job, this is when I was going to be principal. He said, you need to do two things. One, become best friends with the custodian, because they know where all the dirt is, both literal and symbolic. And two, begin looking for your successor. Always think of succession plan. So, I've been at the college now for 4 years. I continue serving for another year to make it 5 years. But in totality, I've been at the college for much longer than that. I was many years director of institutional effectiveness, accreditation liaison officer. I've been an adjunct instructor ever since. I was on the board of regents, so I've given a lot of years to the college. It's not like I'm coming in there as a sort of fly-by-night person.
And then you went up.
Yeah, no. And I made sure that when I came in hot, and we started doing big, bold things. So those things will continue.
Okay. The first Well, let's say the first three things you're gonna do if elected. You have anything that you wanna let the people know that this is your target? What are you gonna do first? I mean, there's a lot of things happening, and it's moving target. There's a lot of issues in Washington, but at least the people will know what is your plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is the first three things? Nobody's asking you the 10 things that you're gonna do,
Yeah.
because you're only gonna serve for 2 years if elected. But
Yeah.
the first three things, you're gonna hit the ground running. What are you gonna do when you get in Washington? With, of course, knowing the composition in the House of Representatives that is controlled by the Republican, and you're running independent, right? So how are you gonna overcome what do you call this adversity there? When they see that you're not with them, because their mindset is, if you're not with us, you're against us.
Yes.
So how do you want to overcome that? The first thing you're going to do, and would that achievement enough to help our people with the situation we're facing now?
Mhm.
Or is that still in a process? You're still looking into that to
Yeah.
to make it tighter?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've thought about this, and yeah, we're still developing our platform.
Yes,
Like I
okay.
said, I want to go listen,
Listen to the people first. Okay.
But right off the bat, yes, there are three things I would do. The first thing is I would invest in knee pads.
Hmm.
I'll never forget this story that obviously Julie likes to say is like, when you go to Washington, you go there for three reasons. But he said for two reasons. He's like, one, for money, two, for legislation. And I say three, networking. So by knee pads, what I mean is I'm going to make as many friends as I can on both sides of the aisle. I think if push comes to shove and I have to caucus with one party over another, then I will make that decision based on what is best for the CNI. I'm very much a centrist person. That's another reason why I'm
so
running
that's
independent.
good. Yeah.
I'm kind of a fiscal conservative, but a social liberal, so I don't really fit
Yeah.
either one. So,
Yeah.
but the first thing I'm going to do is really forge partnerships and relationships, not just with members of Congress, but also with everyone in the federal government and everyone that supports that system. That's the first thing I'm going to do. The second thing I'm going to do is going to really make economic development one of the most important pieces of my plan. And by economic development, I'm talking about really aggressive economic development, because that's what we need the most right now. And I really think that we do ourselves a disservice when we focus just on tourism. Believe me, tourism is important. When I was in high school, I worked as a front desk receptionist at Aqua Resort, so I get it, But now we got to do a lot more. You know what's interesting, when you look at our history, and I love studying history, the Japan government was limited by the Treaty of Versailles from developing a military here in the Pacific. So what did they do? Instead, they developed the economy. I mean, they developed the economy where they're building trains on Ogden, right? We need to work with the DoD to have the same approach, because it's not just about building an airfield. We've got to make sure we have the infrastructure. We got to make sure we have the educated workforce. We got to make sure that we have the economic development it's going to take to sustain that. The reason why the Japan government was able to mobilize so quickly as a military power is they first developed the economic power. And there's a lot to be learned from that. So I want to prioritize economic development, which is going to include, a big part of it is food security. I'm a big fan of what you all do in Cagman, because we should not be importing 90% of our food. That is just criminal.
Yeah.
And, I remember growing up, my dad used to take me and my brother every Saturday to the farm in Cagman, get a little lot there.
Yeah.
He would make us work it. And then, honestly, we always had food at our home because of that.
Yeah.
And we sold some. So, we need to move beyond tourism. We need to make sure that the military development is also benefiting our economy. And we need to look at other industries like tech industry or food agribusiness.
Yeah.
Then the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to really push I'm going to try to reprioritize programs that have been deprioritized or defunded in the current political climate. Medicaid, Medicare, food assistance, federal financial aid, support for veterans. There's a whole range of issues, social support programs that are being threatened right now. Our support for our scientists, our support for research, all of that is being thrown up in the air. And about almost 20,000 people in the CMI qualify for Medicaid. And every iteration that's being proposed in the budget is going to cut Medicaid. And they're saying, yeah, we're just going to add a work requirement. Well, hello, if there are no jobs, what are you going to do? So those are the three things. I'm going to make friends, forge partnerships. I'm going to prioritize economic development that's diversified. And I'm going to push to reprioritize a lot of these social assistance programs.
Perfect. That's a nice start. I think you got that focused already.
Yeah.
It's in your blood, like you said. But now, speaking of the third one, what do you call this? I'm glad that you mentioned about the 20,000 people are receiving those assistance. And I got something I feel maybe that you can look into. Okay.
Would love to.
And maybe first it has to be done locally, but with our legislature, and that is to recalculate the poverty income index.
Yes.
Because here's the thing, we cannot be just like California. Like for a family of 4, 24,000 is the baseline. I mean, everything here in the CNMI is so hard. And hardship by itself, you put that in the calculation, it would bring up the poverty income level to about 75,000. Believe me. Take a look at that and recalculate. Maybe it'd be even more now. And the reason for that is because everything that you bring in is imported. Okay. On top of that, the hardship, I swear, you go out there and start working. It doesn't matter where. Okay. Just by being in this climate hardship, okay, sourcing products you can't find in the store, you have to go to Guam, you have to order. There's a lot of things that it adds up. So if that can be done locally, take that calculation, that is maybe a resolution from the CNMI legislature, take that and do your magic in the U.S. Congress to have a separate index for the CNMI.
We already have that for the minimum wage, right? Like, basically, it's a different calculation.
Different calculation.
So we need to have a different calculation for
assistance. And here's one that you can probably use in your argument. Remember during pandemic, they gave what do you call this? I think it was $1,200. Not a grant, but it's they call it
the PBT or the
no. This everybody got.
Yes, I remember that, the CARES funding.
Yeah,
the one, yeah.
And the break line there, or the breaking point there, is if you're under 200,000, you're qualified.
Yeah.
So they have that even in the federal system, right? That if you're making less than 200, you're qualified for this. They call it not a grant, some kind of that everybody gets.
Yes.
So they send it to the CNMI finance, and then the CNMI finance issue the check. So everybody gets, even the governor gets. Yes. Even if they're justices got their own
below that threshold.
Yeah. So that was the thing that maybe I don't know how you're gonna implement or take that into your platform, but something to think about. That would help the people.
Appreciate that.
Because we're all the way in the Pacific. I mean, everything is hard here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Because of the time, and I know that you're, what do you call this? I saw that somebody sent me a message that you might not come in because you're running this morning.
Oh, I did the Grotto 10K run. Yeah.
I said no. I think he's gonna come.
No, I made a commitment. I'm here.
Yeah, he made a commitment. So. Okay, I'm gonna take a few calls.
Okay.
The phone line is the cell phone, 670-287-4536. Sa gingwahan no interest mo for mysin si the president of the college, Dr. Galvin. Call this number 287-4536. The cell phone is on. I'll take a few calls. Sa gingwahan no interest i publiko. I otro, is in Afanaso, is Sea Grant? Is Sea Grant difficult to apply, or how
It's
that
very
works?
difficult.
Shoot. Okay, wait. I think so. This is US. Okay, this is a long distance call. Go ahead. You have a question for Dr. Galvin?
No, the money that you're trying to say, the stimulus payment.
Oh, that was it.
That's the
Yes,
one, yeah.
yes. Thank you for. Okay, thank you. That was the 200,000 or below. If you're making below 200,000,
stimulus
everybody
check.
stimulus check.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right. Any nothing. That's all. You're gonna. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, earlier I was saying that yeah, that's the CARES Act, no? How gusto sumangan ni CARES
Oh,
Act?
yeah.
Jaji ultra zona funding
Here's here. There's
here.
a
Okay.
lot of there's
Okay.
CARES here and then later ARPA.
Okay. It's the ARPA. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was okay. Is Sea Grant, is that difficult to
Yes,
obtain
it's
a
very
status?
difficult because you have to start off. So it took UOJC grants almost 2 decades, 20 years. And it's because you have to start out, you have to submit a project proposal.
Mm,
They have to open it up for competition. And you're competing with existing Sea Grant programs. So you've got to demonstrate that you have the wherewithal to offer the Sea Grant, research and studies. So it took us, it's taken us almost 3 to 4 years to get to this stage. But basically, the review panel finally approved our project.
Oh, okay.
And the project is to do with fisheries. And to really study fisheries to see the economic impact and the economic potential. So it's ready to go. I just had a Zoom call about a week ago with the acting Sea Grant director and the program officer, and they met with us, our team at the college online, and they said, yeah, we're ready to go, but the funding is held up right now. But as soon as the funding is approved, we can then proceed.
Okay. And that can end up having even a marine laboratory.
Yeah,
right.
Once we move past the project phase to more institutionalized,
Yeah.
we can have marine biology, we can have oceanographic studies, we can study the Northern Islands, we can study the Marianas Trench. It's going to free up all this money. Like right now, we've been able to use funds from the Blue Nature Alliance that we got at college, and that's what's helping with the marine monument, the Marianas Trench monument.
Okay.
So Sea Grant is going to open up a world of possibilities, and not just funding, but also networking opportunities with other Sea Grant programs to do like consortia studies and research. But my goal, whether it be at the college or through Congress, is to make the CNMI the world center for oceanographic research.
Oh, that would be great.
Our economic zone, like including the waters, is bigger than any other state behind Alaska.
Yeah.
There's so much potential.
So it's looking good for us. Yeah.
It's looking good, but again, the funding is being held up in Congress. This is where I'm like, I wish I were there. I wish, and
establishing alliance, making friends, no?
Yes.
That's your first goal. Okay, that's a good objective because it's immediate once you establish a connection there. No?
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people doesn't know where we are.
Yeah. They should. We're the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
We're the first ones to get hit, They like to say, one likes to say that, this is where America's day begins. But I like to say this is where America's internet begins once we have all the fiber. We're so vulnerable.
Yeah.
So we need to be protected.
All right. Okay, if there's any call again, 670-287-4536. I got a few minutes with the president of the college, Dr. G. Yeah, Dr. G, no? They call you Dr. G. I remember that.
Yeah, in college, my friends, they looked at my long name. They said, okay, we're just going to call you G. And then when I came back and started teaching, my students were like, what are we going to call you? And I'm like, well, in college, they call me G. So they said, okay, Mr. G.
Yeah.
And then I got my doctorate, and they're like, okay, upgrade to Dr. G.
Right. Again, thank you for coming up. And then, you're free to communicate here, and you have anything that you want to bring to our community. I know that, what do you call this? We spoke in English, but most of our audience are tomorrow, Kelvin. So
Okay, I
what do you
understand.
call this? I hope that they understand the language that we use today.
Yeah.
And I know your mom speaks fluent
Oh,
Chamorro.
yeah, she does.
So when she talks to you in English or Chamorro?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you understand, no?
I can understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. It's just when I speak,
Okay.
but I'm working on it,
Okay.
because, I like to look at my experience. So my parents, the reason why they had me learn English is they felt like it was going to be more competitive.
Yeah.
And yes, I admit my command of English has really helped me, but I have this deep longing to learn my language because, my grandmother, the one I told you about earlier,
Yes.
the best way we communicated was in Japanese.
Oh, really?
The only
Okay.
way we could really communicate was in Japanese. So I want to learn my language, and I'm learning it day by day.
As long as you understood, ne? And maybe you can respond in English.
Yeah.
But if you understand, because it's there, it's in you. I know, it's in you because you hear them if they speak to you like "Nyano?"
Yeah.
See, you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can speak. You can respond in
And I can
Chamorro.
sing.
Yeah.
The songs, I can sing the songs.
Yeah. And okay, final. Before we leave, I know you are an expert in filmmaking.
Oh.
It's your passion.
Yes.
Do you plan to teach our kids? I mean, that's something that, I mean, the area that we're in, it's in the most beautiful part of the world, and filmmaking is something that can make money too.
Yeah. Well, it's something I've always done. When I was at Mount Carmel, we had a theater program, but we did a lot of films too. And a lot of those students are now actually videographers, professional videographers. Some of them work for Disney, so they've gone on to do that. At the college already had a strong media program, so I've come in to try to supplement that. And we've tried we've had a few starts where we try to offer a film program at the college or even the cinema. But it's a challenge right now, but I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
I continue to support young filmmakers and other filmmakers,
Okay.
and I continue to work on it too myself.
Okay, so I got the last call. I'll take the last call here. Okay, inon mo po favor. Question pa rin sa guest, Dr. G.
Question si Mr. Joseph.
Okay, go ahead.
Wala naman kasi sila lang we love you. For example, well down, after the mga Marianas, the speech si Mr. Calvin, porque Marianas, working individual that they respect, kulos pa nga tulog siya may malalago. Masya, kapan na posisyon, ganyan ka mamaya na election. Dan, talong guys, after the malalaman na nandito, for example, okay, sa bandido, attended ang ipamagun. Si Jesus Marcel Robin, good luck. That Nobel, Jesus Marcel, and that may have to the expectan ng Marianas ni kung bababa para mapapromosahan ni Tifinansin niya, so hopefully, imanay ko, Tifinansin niya. Sa tuloy din, mga opinion, Jesus Marcel.
Basta. Thank you, John. All right. Jesus Marcel, Uri tempo za Benoyo Loki saludo ne matto magi za manita pa ako na sabano za pronto i programan Marianas Agupa nasinya jangin guamas i kuleo ne o sino pun malago pun lagun suzo ako nga so we can reserve a time for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Jesus Masi, Mr. Magdalene, if I could just say one last thing.
Sure. Go ahead.
I really want to thank you and the farmers over in Cagman. You know, right now it's mango season, so everyone's giving everyone mangoes, right? That proves that we can grow stuff here, we can support ourselves. And I know farming is hard work, and I have nothing but deep respect for farmers. And it's not easy, but at the end of the day, man, that's what's going to really help our community. So whatever I can do in my current capacity or other capacities, let me know. You have my full support.
Thank you. Nainaw na palabra si Jesus Masi. We'll keep in touch, si Jesus Masi tal. All right, Dr. G, thank you na ifinatomo sa tapansigi mo na sa stay oral okay. Taman by hutsun in about 5 minutes. Para si Dr. G, si Jesus Masi. Para maniiko mo, talo, magtitempo na para ta hutsun estilo. Antisa, benalon ji video na ginin as gwela agatete, afanielos, nagada benalon matso. Masusedi islan guaham.
Ginin iislang guahan. Mensahe ginin i Departamentong Hinemlo dyan Serbisyon Sosyal. Este Junio día 15 hasta 21 masinyala como National Mosquito Control Awareness Week. Importante na utanagwaha hinadahi za uta pribi na ufan manyagwe nyamu siya gi durante este tiempo nutsan. Man masosudzo itaw siya para ufan aktibo umadahi i urizan igimaniha ilansod niya dyan maseha amano na lugar na untungo sinya ugwaha finahanom o sinobasula ni para ufan lihing gwi inyamo za usigi man manyada. Tres na manera ni sinya pribi inyamo ni para multiplicage. Finenena, drain. Basia ihanom gisagwan siya kada simana. Dress, usay magago na anako manggasnya, pudpud na kasulis dyan anako, dyan itigof didok na kulot. Defendihaw, za una sedbi isprenyaw mo, ni para udi nilalak ko sakiti un inaka. Importante na ogwaha espiritu ni tawtaw para utafan animu humadahi i komunidata za tana gasgas para mas maulik hinemlo i tawtaw tasiha. Para mas informasyon por este na mensahe, agang i Mosquito Surveillance and Control Program gi telefon 671-300-9576. Este ha? Si Zusma, si...
Alright. Okay, si Zusma, si Gwela agatete. Zabala, zatafan sige mo nagwini. Pudi oras na magtitempo na para ta hutsum ni programata. Tano-tanaw na idang kulo na si Zusma, si todo samzo na mani kung ansabalo. Importante inatingan gihila na nata Stefanelos. Ini mas na siya man akumprendihit gihapta sa sangan. Asunto siya na affected, asunto kultura, sosyal, ekonomiya, politika, edukasyon, importante no siya, dinigit na siya mas malakomprendihit. Nangin tala silpi hila na nata. Ustalo si Jesus Masi para turo samzo. Tanayo kay Donklo na si Jesus Masi, si Dr. G, Dr. Galvin de Longuerero na manhita pa ako sa explicalo ko i Northern Marianas College sinanano niya muna. Mauna gaigi dyan half para muna siya. Dyan lokwe exclusive interview na tasagan pa ako. Panita sa sasangan lokwe desisyon niya para sauno binigay mamamayla na eleksyon. Kumo kandidato para delegate's office to the U.S. Congress. Alright? Kasi nige, si Jesus Masi, Dr. G, pwede gumaygyaw. Diyan, para todo sa ato siya manggaygi pa ako na sabalo, man kung parewa gitarara na sinadingan finot sa moro. Diyan, manggaygi lokwe, gi 100.3 FM. Sinya unik kung uniga, presenti pa ako na show, gi Marianas Agupa YouTube. Please click, subscribe, Marianas Agupa YouTube if you continue to to want us to broadcast this program every Saturday. Please help by subscribing. Thank you so much again. Gini na eskwela agateti zangwaho gin Marianas Agupa si Glenn H. Manglo niya inagway za inafa maulik dyan pas para turudo sanzo. Adios. Ugway za hanzo. Esta otro sablo. Alright? Okay.